Hello everyone, I'm Sumaya Sayed, an international medical graduate, currently working as a doctor in Australia with general registration. Welcome to my channel. This channel is made with the sole purpose of helping IMGs like me who have been struggling to get jobs in Australia with step-by-step information right from EPIC verification to getting registration in Australia. And also at the same time to try and make sure that you all don't give up in the middle of this whole process, because it can be quite overwhelming at times, and you all stay motivated throughout this journey. I would just like to say that every person's situations when they're applying for jobs can be quite different. In my case, there were certain things I had and certain things I did not have. So for the things that I did not have, I had not cleared my AMC clinical examination at that stage, so I didn't have an AMC certificate. The second thing I did not have was the recency of practice. The third thing I did not have was an observership opportunity, because when I was desperately looking for jobs and for observership opportunities, COVID had just struck, and I also needed internship experience. So that's something I did not have, and therefore wanted to apply for an internship position in Australia, which I had been told at that stage that it's impossible to get one, and people have been trying for 3 to 4 years and still haven't managed to get it. So that's another thing that I did not have. Now coming to the good parts, that is to the things that I did have at that stage, I had my permanent residency, which was obviously very important. I was eligible for limited registration because I had cleared my AMC MCQ, that is part 1. I had a very supportive husband and a very supportive family, which I think everyone needs around them when they're going through this phase. And I was very persistent. Coming to the topic of today, my journey from an IMG to becoming a registered doctor in Australia. Let's start from the very beginning. So I came to Australia in February 2019, gave my MCQ in the next 5 to 6 months, and then tried applying to the RMO campaigns. But by the time I got my results back for the MCQ examination, it was too late, and the RMO campaigns, most of them were not accepting any new applications. And so I was quite disappointed, thinking of the fact that I'll have to wait for another year for an RMO campaign. But at the same time, I started my journey of trying to find jobs that would offer limited registration as well. Just like y'all, I would go through all the posts of people getting jobs, and I came across something called the private hospital stream, which is a Commonwealth program for junior doctors and for junior doctor training. And I researched more about it, and I realized that the application for that particular stream has still not opened, and it was going to open in October or November in that year. And I quickly applied to that. Through the list of hospitals, I found a hospital which was Greenslopes Private Hospital. I had heard about this hospital even before I applied to this job, and that hospital kind of excited me. It was a teaching hospital, and I had gone around the hospital just to see the hospital as well, and it was a really good hospital, and I was very keen on going ahead and applying to that hospital. I'd also heard that it's quite IMG friendly. It was always on the top of the list when it came to IMG friendly hospitals, and I said that this one would be a good opportunity for me if I get into this hospital. Now, while applying to the hospitals, you always look for a side of positivity, and I found that kind of positivity in something called manifestation. I cannot emphasize enough on how manifestation has helped me. Apart from doing my usual prayers, manifestation or the law of attraction played a very important role. So I wrote on a piece of paper that I will get a call from this person. So I generally knew who the contact person would be, because whenever I would contact them, I would ask them their numbers for the JMO recruitment, for their names, and then they would give me their names, and I knew who they were. I knew who I was contacting. So for Greenslopes Hospital, I knew who the contact person would be, and I just wrote that person's name on the paper, and I said, this person has called me saying that you have a job opportunity. And I woke up every morning, saw that piece of paper, felt that happiness. Even before sleeping, I would read that statement that, hey, you have a job opportunity here in Greenslopes Hospital, and go back to sleep. So this went on right from, I think, October that year to January next year, because I didn't get a call until January or February, and then I thought that maybe all the internship positions have filled up by now, because even when I called them and contacted them, they basically said that all our internship positions have been filled. So I just kept that paper aside, kept it somewhere inside my diary, and kept going with my searching of jobs. So I basically lived in NSW, but just before COVID, my mom was visiting Australia, and she was going to be staying with my brother in Queensland, as well as my cousin had not been feeling well at that stage. So I thought of coming to Queensland for a few days, and we were stuck here because of the border closures. We stayed here for about a month, so during that time I actually visited Greenslopes Hospital, met the people, and they were not very keen on discussing further with me, and said that, sorry, you can leave your resume here and you can go. And I just left from there. But they knew that I had come from NSW, and they knew how keen I was at that stage. So I kept going. I started researching of the RMO campaigns coming up. So they generally open in May or June for most of the states, and I started collecting all documents that I needed. I gave my PT exam in February as well, just so that I have my scores updated. Just anything basically to highlight my resume. I did all the CPD courses that I potentially could at that stage. A lot of free CPD courses, some of the paid CPD courses, and I just added all of them to my resume as well. Fast forward to May 2020, I get a call one morning at 9 AM from this voice that I've heard several times before. She said, hello. I said, hello. And she's like, hi, is this Sumaya Sayed? I said, yes. And she's like, hi, I'm this person from Greenslopes Hospital, and I think we've spoken several times previously. And I just jumped out of my bed, and I'm like, yes. So she's like, if you're sleeping, I can call later. I said, absolutely not. I'm not sleeping. I'm awake. You can tell me what's happening. And she said that I could have a potential job opportunity for you. Are you still keen on getting a job in Greenslopes? And my response to her was, yes, without a doubt. I didn't think for a second. I didn't think that I should act more composed. I just said, yes, absolutely. And she's like, I just want to know first whether you are still in Queensland or have you gone back to NSW? I said, I'm still in Queensland. So she says, perfect. Let's make an appointment for you tomorrow and you can come in for an interview. And I couldn't express how excited I was. I was like, thank you so much for your call, and I'll see you tomorrow. And I disconnected the call. I went running to my mom and my husband and my brother, sister, my cousin, everyone who was basically sitting outside. And with tears rolling down my eyes, I'm like, I've got this call from Greenslopes, and they couldn't believe it. And I said, this is what is happening. I'm going tomorrow for an interview. And everyone started crying. It was a very emotional moment, but I think I had dreamt about something like that to happen for the longest of the time. So I went for an interview the next day. We had a good time at the interview. There were a few people waiting outside my interview, and I was very anxious because I didn't have recency, so I wasn't sure whether I will get the job. But I was just positive as usual. So during my interview, they did mention that, look, Sumaya, you know why you stood out? The reason you stood out was because we loved how persistent you were. There are a lot of people who contact us, but you were different. You just went that extra mile. Apart from contacting us and emailing us, you tried to come and meet us in person. Now, it's not that we appreciate every person who comes and meets us in person, but we could see your enthusiasm and how hardworking you were, and we loved it. And that kind of got me excited. And also at the same time, it would be luck as well at the same time, because it seems the people who were originally going to be interns there could not make it, at least one or two of them, because they were stuck overseas due to COVID and they would be joining much later. So they did have an opening and I was available at the right place on the right time. So I think that helped me a lot. Now I just want to mention to you all that when I was having this whole phase of not getting a job, there were a few suggestions that people gave me of going back to my country. It can be possible for a lot of you and a lot of you will be happy to do it. It wasn't in my scenario. The other things they said was that maybe do MBBS right from the beginning in Australia, and I think that was the most ridiculous piece of advice. Now coming back to the private hospital stream, this year itself, so the applications that started in the year 2021, at the end of the year 2021 for intake this year, I know 4 people at least who've gotten a job after following my post on different groups, and they have messaged me personally and said that we've got a job. We will post it on whatever group is possible just to help other candidates, but I'm sure you get so busy and caught up that you don't generally get a chance. So I'm just putting up some of the messages that I had received so that you guys are boosted as well, that IMGs are getting jobs. It's just like not everyone shares when they do get a job, so you should keep that in mind. Some special mentions here to Dr. Andrew, who was quite supportive during my whole journey. We also call him a lucky mascot because everyone who's been in his group has at certain stage gone ahead and gotten a job. He's a ball of positive energy and happiness. And he told me even whenever I would go for an interview, he's like, you just have to smile and be yourself. Don't worry about anything else and they'll select you. And that did happen. I think few takeaways from today's video would be firstly, your perseverance and hard work. So your luck will not matter, your manifestation will not matter if you're not doing enough at the same time. So perseverance, hard work, a lot of prayers, manifestation, and the most important thing is not giving up and being yourself. I think even the recruiters or the interviewers don't want the same kind of personality every time. You should just be yourself. Don't be like someone else you've seen. And feel free to post suggestions of what videos you all want me to make next. My next video is also going to be about all the upcoming RMO campaigns of different states with their dates, and that should help. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with all your friends. Let me know in the comment section how you all like my video, and because this is my first video on this channel, I would also like some feedbacks about how I could improve my videos and how I could make them better. So everyone, all the very best. Have a very, very nice year ahead, and don't forget to help others once you all get your respective jobs in your own time. Obviously, I wouldn't expect you all to start posting and start helping people out immediately. But all the very best. Take care. Bye.